Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Oakley Kato cycling sunglasses. When it comes to sunglasses, Oakley has never been shy about bold designs or color schemes. The new Oakley Kato sunglasses continue that tradition with an innovative one-piece lens design and superhero-inspired shape. As you can see from the packaging, it's very simple. You have the Oakley logo, black box for a nice premium look, and then the basic specs written on the side. So I'll go ahead and take it out of the box and we'll go over the specs. Retail price on these are $291, so definitely one of the more expensive sunglasses on the market. They have an innovative one-piece lens design that almost looks like a superhero prop instead of actual sunglasses. They have an adjustable rake mechanism, which is a unique design to Oakley that actually allows you to adjust the angle between the temple and the lens. It has swappable unobtainium nose pads for a customized fit. You get the prism lens technology, which is unique to Oakley and provides really crisp, clear optics. And you have a very high base curvature, so you can see from the top view, it really wraps around your face for a visor-like fit. In terms of what comes in the box, you get the sunglasses. We have the sapphire version here. Basic protective packaging here to prevent it from scratching while being shipped. You get a fabric bag with this little pocket too that can actually be used for the nose pads. A hard zippered case with the Oakley logo on top, which is great for traveling with. 2 additional nose pads of different thicknesses. So these are the unobtainium nose pads. You can swap them in and out and choose the one that works well for you. There's one installed already from the factory, and a basic pamphlet with some specifications and warnings on there. Now let's take a look at the weight of the sunglasses. We have one of the standard nose pads already installed. And it comes in at 34 grams, so quite light, even though it has a one-piece lens and a frameless design. Now let's go over the fit and finish of the Kato sunglasses. These look more like a prop from the latest Marvel superhero movie instead of something you'd find in your local bike shop. Very distinct styling with this contoured, seamless shape. And it's a nice, refreshing look compared to all the oversized retro sunglasses on the market. They really went with this more disruptive design they don't typically see. Oakley offers them in a couple color options. We have the sapphire version here, a nice blue, and you can see that it goes to purple depending on which angle you look at it. And then they also have the road and black version, so you can pick the one that best matches your environment. They also briefly had a 2K version, a gold version, to commemorate the recent Olympics. Now, in terms of the front, that's where it's really unique. You don't have any frame design, so it's a frameless design. So if you look at it from the other angle, you just have the lens. So the lens is 99% of the body. There are no interchangeable lenses here, as the lens is the entire sunglass, so you couldn't swap this out for a clear lens. You'd have to just buy another one. It has this seamless design that wraps around your nose instead of having it cut out. The top brow has this little curvature, and that provides some rigidity to the lens, and you can see it's actually quite thick from the side profile. So it's also quite thick despite the lack of a frame. You also have nice little design elements like these little extensions from the side. Minimal branding, you have Prism, Oakley, and then the Oakley logo on the temple arm. Temple arms are very thin too, and you can see very high curvature. So they wrap in, and that really hugs your face. And they're also thin and adjustable, so you can see these are just rubber, so you can easily move them around and manipulate them. The other nice thing about these, they have something called the rake system. So what you can do is you can basically tilt this up and down. And as you can see, it has multiple positions. So these little plastic covers, you have to lift up on them. There's a much leverage here as it's pretty small. So once you pry up on it, it'll actually fold out toward the lens. And now you can see this actually tilts up into a couple index positions. So you have 3 positions. You have higher, lower, and then all the way down. And this will adjust the angle. So you can see, depending on which one you prefer or which position you are on the bike. So if you're definitely, if you're more on the drops, you might want to angle this upward to compensate. Otherwise, you can adjust it as needed. Once you lock it in, I'll leave it in the middle. You just close the door, clicks in, and that's it. It's a very simple adjustment, and it's a nice feature to have. The nose pads are also replaceable. They're not indexed, so you pull up over these tabs, and you can see there's little hooks, and that goes into the little tabs inside the rubber. To put them back on, you just slide them in, lift up and over, and then it sits there nice and secure. You have two other options with different thicknesses right out of the box. Now, aside from looking cool, the optics on these lenses are quite nice as well. These use the Oakley Prism technology, and that's a non-photochromatic design, so it's a single lens category. And with the Sapphire lens, this is a 12% VLT, which is a category 3 lens, great for sunny weather, so especially here in California, it's a great option, or if you're somewhere else it's sunny. Otherwise, you might want to look at the other lenses. They have a gray base tint, so if you look through here, it really brings out debris here and increases the contrast. And compared to POC or other sunglass companies, it's a very crisp, clear optics, and despite the high curvature, you can actually see there's no real distortion here, and that's really impressive. With cheap sunglasses, you'll get a lot of distortion, especially as the curvature goes up. So definitely pick the right lens for you, and pick the right category and base tint color for the environment you're riding in. Here you can see the Oakley Katos on the road. We've paired it with our favorite Ollie kit and the Oakley Aero 3 helmet, which really matches well and provides that eye dock. Now obviously the Katos have a very distinct design language and they really stand out, especially from certain angles where you see that seamless nose piece. And with that wraparound design, you can see it really wraps around your face, and the adjustable rake and nose pad make it easy to find the right fit for you. What's really impressive about these is despite the aggressive curvature, the optics are nice and smooth, and especially with the Sapphire lens, it worked really well for road cycling as it brings out all the potholes and debris. Otherwise, very comfortable lens, and they will stand out on the road with their distinct design. Now let's compare the Kato sunglasses with other sunglasses on the market. As you can see, the current trend in the sunglass market is toward oversized retro frames. So you can see they're a lot taller than the Katos. These are the Oakley Shift Mags. And you can see nice wide lens. This is the clear lens currently installed. But you can see profile-wise, you have more sharp angles, large nose cutout, and a very tall frame. So from the nose bridge to the top brow is quite tall. And that gives you a nice field of view. So if you compare these side by side, the Smith here has a taller lens and a wider one. Now they're not nearly as curved as the Oakleys, so you can see the base curvature on this is quite a bit more than other sunglasses in the market, and that gives you that more visor-like fit and means you don't need as big of a frame because it wraps around. The other thing here is to note with normal frame sunglasses like the Smith, you can do nice lens swaps. This has the magnetic swap option, so a nice little toggle. Makes it really easy to swap them out. But you do have a lens you have to deal with, so unlike the Oakleys, which have a one-piece design. POC also has a lot of nice popular lenses. You can see here the POC AIM sunglasses, and you can see nice and large. What POC does is they actually hide the frame, so you can see it looks a lot sleeker than it is, but they actually have a nose bridge down the middle. And even though you can't really see that, it's in between your eyes anyways. Once you know it's there, you can kind of you know it's there, and if you look to your side, you'll see it. So that's the nice thing about the Oakleys. You have the one-piece frameless design without any nose bridge or any additions. Design-wise too, the POC has a much smoother look, while Oakley goes a little more aggressive. So you can see sharper angles where the POC is nice, smooth, and more European design where the Oakley is more aggressive. Now when it comes to oversized lenses, they've gone bigger and bigger. The biggest one we've currently reviewed are the POC Devours, and you can see these are massive, especially side by side, a lot taller. They're flatter too, so not as curved, but you can see a very big lens. And they did this by essentially hiding the lens frame again. So the lens actually goes up and over the frame for the nice frameless look, but you also have the structure of the frame behind it, much taller, so you don't have anything below you, which is a bigger field of view. So even with the Katos, you can see the bottom edge if you look downward, but with the Devours, you don't. The downside of the Devour is the fact that even though it has almost a frameless appearance, you obviously have a frame, and you still see that when you're riding. It also has a more cheap feeling construction. It feels rigid, but the plastic design doesn't quite feel as premium as the Oakley. You don't get some of the nice color contrast that you do with at least the white version of these. Retro sunglasses are also popular. These are the Bollé Chrono Shield. So they're actually designed to mimic their goggles from the 80s and 90s, and you can see they really do look like a pair of goggles with this framed look. Again, much larger and taller, but we do expect the Oakley to come out with a XL version of this in the future, and that would add a wider field of view, so you can see side by side again. And compared to other sunglasses, the Oakley just really stands out. That superhero style design is very distinct, and the one-piece lens means you don't have that nose cutout, which is something every sunglass has. Again, the curvature is really unmatched compared to other sunglasses. It really wraps around. Now let's go over the scorecard for the Oakley Kato sunglasses. We're going to grade on 4 different categories: design, optics, comfort, and value. Design would give it an A, as a seamless one-piece lens, has a very disruptive design. Optics is also an A, it's very crisp and clear with great color contrast, especially for road cycling. In comfort, we'd also give it an A. It has nice flexible temples, and with the adjustable rake and replaceable nose pads, it's easy to get a right fit. Value, would give it a B+. At almost $300, these are very expensive, and you're definitely paying for that new lens design. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.